In today's show, we're going to talk about why retirement or that transition into retirement might be feeling difficult and how to change that and make it feel a whole lot easier.
Welcome to the Your Life, Your Money podcast with Scott Searins, teaching you how to thrive in life, wealth, and retirement.
Welcome to the Retirement Show, all about your life, your money, and your retirement. I'm your host, Scott Searins. We run a retirement planning and investment management firm where our mission is to help good people make great financial decisions so that way they can maximize their retirement story. That's our goal. We want to help you maximize whatever you want your retirement story to be. And, today really feeds into that. When meeting with someone new that was kind of in the process of transitioning into retirement, they said, this transition into retirement I felt should be easy. Why isn't this so easy? And, reality is there's really no easy button for retirement. If you're already in retirement, you probably agree with that. Or if you're looking into retirement, you see that there's a lot of factors that go into retirement, but it shouldn't be hard either. Like, it shouldn't feel complicated. It shouldn't feel messy. It shouldn't feel difficult. So it should feel easier. Now, how these folks had themselves set up was definitely making it feel complicated, was making it feel hard. And I'm going to talk about today what was making it more difficult for them. But I also thought that I'd just kind of use this episode to talk about why would it feel more difficult going into retirement? Or let's actually talk about it in a more positive way. How can you make going into retirement feel easier, right? Because there's no easy button for it. There's work that needs to be done. There's planning that needs to be done. There's a transition that needs to be done. And transitioning is change, and change is tough. Change is difficult. Change is something new. But that's just that emotional part of change. But what about the other parts of actually going into retirement? So that's what I want to talk about. How can you make it easier? I'm just going to go through some different things today that I've seen when new people, come and discuss with us about the retirement and where they're at, and things that may have been making it a difficult transition for them, overcomplicating it, and ways that I see that you can make your transition into retirement a whole lot easier. And so the first thing we're going to talk about is your accounts. And I want you to really seriously ask yourself, do you have a junk drawer of accounts? Junk drawer, yes. I mean, we've got one of those at home. We've actually got two, right? Because it's that drawer in our house that has accumulated everything. If I ask my wife where the stamps are, they're probably in the junk drawer. If I ask my wife, where a notepad is, it's probably in the junk drawer. If we need some pens or pencils, it's in the junk drawer. If we need a coupon or whatever, it's in the junk drawer. It's just accumulated everything over time. And I want you to just, really seriously think about your life and your accounts. Do you have a junk drawer of accounts? Meaning, do you have a bunch of miscellaneous accounts? In this case, right, in a junk drawer, I guess it's in the drawer. But in your case, maybe when I say junk drawer of accounts, meaning just a bunch of miscellaneous accounts, and they're scattered all over the place, or a bunch of miscellaneous products that you have purchased over time, or while they might have been right when you had gotten them, are they still going to be the right things for your future? And maybe you're listening going, well, I don't have a junk drawer of accounts. I know where all my accounts are. Okay, great. Do you have old 401ks? Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three that are scattered at different old companies. Have you left accounts behind somewhere? Do you have old Roth 401ks? Do you have brokerage accounts at multiple different institutions? And I'm sure you can kind of see where I'm going with this here is that one of the things that I find that is overcomplicating, making that transition into retirement more difficult for people is when they have a ton of accounts all over the place. And a ton can actually just mean more than one or two. And So one of the things that you really want to do to help make your transition into retirement easier is consolidating accounts. Now, let me go through some of the things I'm guessing you're already thinking in your mind, because I've heard it before, right? We've heard a lot. We've heard it all. Maybe not all, but we've heard a ton. And so you might be thinking, well, if I bring all of my accounts to one location, and now when I say consolidate accounts, you have to be very careful here. And, if you need to, work with a financial professional. If you need a financial professional to work with, check us out at lifemoneyshow.com, click on the Work With Us tab and see if we're maybe a potential fit. But when I say consolidate accounts, you can't take your IRA and your spouse's IRA and combine those together. You can't do that. But if you have 3, 2, 1, if you have old 401ks and you're going to retire, guess what? You can bring all of those 401ks into one IRA. If you have all these Roth 401ks, old Roth 401ks, you can bring all of those into one Roth IRA. If you have brokerage accounts in multiple different institutions, you can bring all of those into one brokerage account. I know what you're thinking. Well, what if I do that? That's a taxable event. Actually, it's not. For a 401k to bring it to an IRA, it's just a rollover. It's a non-taxable event. Brokerage accounts might be thinking, well, then I've got to move it to cash and I've got to sell it. You know what? If done properly, you can just transfer the positions over to the new brokerage account. When we're working with new people that have hired us to help them with their retirement planning, and they're bringing these accounts over from multiple different locations, taxes are always on our mind. We're not going to try to put them in a bad tax position. And so we're just transferring things over. We're going to transfer over their current positions so that way things aren't being sold and it's a non-taxable event. Now, can it always happen that way? Maybe not necessarily. It depends on what you're in today. If somebody's put in something that's illiquid that you have to sell out of. I mean, there's always the exceptions, right? But the general here to help make your transition into retirement easier is consolidating accounts. Okay, so then I was going down this path of what are some of the things of going through your mind of why you can't consolidate accounts. Well, first, non-taxable event. We've got that one covered. Second, I'm guessing you've heard, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So let me tell you a quick story of someone that we had met with that was their thought process. Don't put all their eggs in one basket. So they truly had seven different IRA accounts. Well, I would say maybe 4 different IRA accounts and maybe 3 401k accounts. I mean, they had things scattered because they were worried about putting all of their eggs in one basket. Now, when we did a review on those 7 different accounts, and we looked at all of the holdings in those accounts, and they're thinking, hey, I've got all these different funds, I've got mutual funds, I've got ETFs, and so I am diversified. And when we looked at the holdings of each of those different accounts, guess what? This one held Apple, this one held Apple, this one held Apple, this one held Apple, that one held Apple. They just all held Apple. They all held Microsoft. They all held name the stock. They all held the same stock. And so while they thought they were doing this thing of not putting all their eggs in one basket, basically they were not diversified because they had all the same stock in all of those different baskets. So bringing and consolidating your accounts is okay. And then within that account or within your accounts, you then want to diversify through the funds that you own. So hopefully you're starting to see things here of, the main goal when you're going into retirement, my opinion, is you want to start to simplify life. You want to start to simplify your accounts. You don't want things all over the place because it'll lead to the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is most likely you're going to underspend in your retirement. Not overspend, but if you have accounts all over the place, it could be one of 2 extremes. 1, you're going to underspend, or 2, you're going to run out of money because everything was all over the place and you weren't able to actually keep track of it. So there's our first topic. Really think hard about consolidating your accounts as you transition into retirement. Actually, before you're transitioning into retirement, as you're going through life, if you've got an old 401k, roll it into your new 401k or roll it into an IRA. If you've got multiple brokerage accounts all over the place right now, think about that. Simplify life. Simplify those accounts. Start bringing them together and then making sure in your one account you are diversified. All right, let's move into the next one. So the next one I have in my notes is for those that are inherently savers, how you can make transitioning into retirement a little bit easier on yourself. You see, a lot of times people think, well, the more that someone has saved, the easier it's going to make their retirement. And honestly, I haven't found that to be true. I mean, working with folks that have saved up $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, $10 million, guess what? They all have the same concern on their mind. Will I be okay? Because the reason that they have that much saved up in their accounts is because they're savers. They inherently focus on saving money. They look at spending and go, I don't know if I need to do that. I don't know if I can afford to do that. I'll just say this. My wife and I, we're both inherently savers. We have to, have conversations and work on spending money, knowing that it's going to be okay to spend on something, to do something, to take the trip, to go on the vacation. Yes, we have the money saved up for it, but we have to actually say that, hey, it's going to be okay to do this because we're both inherently savers. And we've set up our accounts to help us to know that it's going to be okay to do so. And so here's what I find. I find that if you are a saver, if that's kind of how you're built, how you think, and have those inherent habits, let's call it, going into retirement can be very difficult for you because retirement then is change. You're very used to saving. You're used to that company paycheck coming in. You're used to the money going from that company paycheck into your 401k or into your brokerage account. You're used to watching those accounts grow up and up and up and up. And now you're making this change, this transition to say, I'm going to actually use that money in those accounts. I no longer have this company paycheck coming in. I have to go to my retirement savings and create my own retirement paycheck. Heck, just talking about this can make some of you probably feel really, really, really uncomfortable. And so if you're going to DIY your retirement as a saver, I'm going to put a bet on it. My personal opinion is that most likely you're going to underspend in your retirement and you're going to leave money on the table. And if that's your goal, is to underspend, not, live up to your true potential retirement story, whatever you want that to be, and just leave this big legacy behind, well, then I guess the DIY method might be okay for you. But for people that are savers, partnering with a retirement planner, somebody who focuses on retirement income, that decumulation stage of life. This is what we do for our clients. Partnering with somebody like that can really help you enjoy your money in retirement. I always tell folks, we are here to help give them permission to spend without the worry of running out. I'll say that again. Our goal is to give our clients the permission to spend and enjoy their money without the worry of running out. And for a saver, that's a big deal because if you're going to try to do it yourself in retirement, most likely you're going to underspend. And the thing is what did you work so hard for? What did you save all of this money for? Is so you could enjoy your retirement. And so retirement's going to look very difficult for a saver because this is change. This is a transition. And instead, if you want to make it a little bit easier, really think about that. Partnering with somebody that's going to help you understand how to help maximize the amount of income that you can take out of your retirement accounts. And I'm going to take this one step further. One of the things that's really important to me as we work with clients is we want to also help them front load their plan. Now, in previous episodes, right, we've talked about retirement regrets and the stages of retirement. And front loading the plan means how do you take what you've saved up and use the majority of it? I want to rephrase that. How do you take what you've saved up and use it while you're young and healthy, but also making sure that there's enough retirement paychecks, right, for you as you get into your older years as well. But can you front load that plan And then as you go through retirement, just knowing when you need to make adjustments. And so if you're a saver, I really want you to think about that. If you want to enjoy your retirement, you want to make that transition as easy as possible, really think about partnering with somebody that'll help you understand how much you can spend and make it last. And then will continuously give you the okay to do those things that you want to do. And I think that's the other thing that I've found too, is it's not just having a plan, because you could have that piece of paper in your hand that says, okay, well, this is what they said that I could take out, but it's a constant reassurance that we're providing to our clients. It's this constant confidence that, yes, this is how much you can take out and make your money last. This is how much you can go enjoy this year and make your money last. This is what you can do with all those travels and those activities and all those things that you wanted to do and still make the money last. Just think, if you're doing it on your own, will you be able to do that? I have a feeling it can make your retirement a little bit more difficult. So let's wrap up talking about the people that I met with that said, boy, I thought this transition into retirement should be easy. Why isn't this feeling easy? Well, let's walk through why it wasn't probably feeling so easy for them. And in their specific scenario, they, when looking through the different, I'll call it assets and investments that they had in their plan, I would say a majority of those investments were actually insurance products that they own. Now, I'm not saying insurance products are a bad thing. And so I don't want to kind of go down that path. I'm just letting you know that a lot of things that they owned were insurance products, which means that they had a term to them, a surrender time frame to them as well. And then on top of it, their person that they were working with, that they had purchased some of these different products from, was going to retire in a year. Now, so that could probably be one reason. The other was, like, if you think about what they had, and again, I'm not saying insurance products are bad. I think that everything out there can potentially, could maybe work in a plan depending on what your specific plan is. However, for them, it was like a majority of what they owned. And if you think about it, that stuff is then in a surrender, has a term to it. So if they were to now liquidate it to go do something else, there's going to be a surrender charge to it. And the person that they're working with most likely got paid a commission. So they had already been paid. They're really not probably mentally thinking. And there's people out there that do think this, that do think like, okay, I need to continue to help this couple. But that person may have been just thinking, you know what? I provided you what you asked for. I've been paid. My services are done. And so you can kind of see why things might be starting to feel pretty difficult for them. I'm going to say it as they kind of went through things, they might have got caught up in emotions and along the way had been buying products. And you've heard me maybe use this analogy before, but if not, I'm going to go through it again because it really, really hits home for this specific couple and this specific scenario. It's the analogy of building a house and how it relates so closely to your retirement. Think about this. If you're going to go build a house, you're going to build a brand new house. I'm saying, hey, you've got the money, you can go build a brand new house. What are the first things you're going to do? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to sit down with an architect, a designer, and you're going to get all of those dream things out of your mind and onto the paper. I couldn't wait for a new house. I mean, if you're asking me right now, we need a bigger laundry room. We want this beautiful backyard with a pond in the back, behind the backyard. I can tell you things that would come out of my mind. I'm guessing you're thinking the same thing. Maybe it's the master bedroom that you want bigger, or the master bathroom that you want different. Or maybe there's a kitchen that you've always dreamed of. You're thinking and talking about all of these ideas. You're getting them on paper, giving them to that designer so that designer can say, great, thanks for all this information. Let me put together the blueprint for this house that you've been dreaming of for so long. And then once they put together that blueprint, then you're saying, okay, hey, here's the blueprint. How much is this going to cost? What's this going to look like? Can we afford this? Do we need to make some cuts? Can we add? Do we need to make some changes? You get the financials all aligned. Is it going to work? Yep, great. Then after that, you start to go get the products, because that design of that house might need siding. It might need bricks. It might need, who knows, might have a basement, might not have a basement. Depending on where you live, you could have totally different products. But it's not until the end, after the design, after getting all the thoughts and dreams out, after putting together the blueprint, it's not until the end that you actually go and finally buy the products. So think about this couple now. They had a bunch of products, but had they actually laid out the vision of what they wanted their retirement to look like? And now they're locked in. They're totally locked into everything that they have until not totally, right? So when the surrender charges, the terms, things end, well, then they have abilities to make changes. But the last part that I really wanted you to think about here, if you want to help make your retirement or the transition into your retirement easier, put together a plan. Put together your vision. What is the vision? What do you want your retirement story to look like? Put it on paper. I think that's one of the coolest things that I get to help people do, and I see it's just like these light bulb moments go off, is really extracting from them what they want retirement to look like. Because a lot of times nobody's talked to them about that before. A lot of times they haven't opened up about that before. And you should be. It's your retirement. That's what you've worked so hard to save all of this money for, is so that you can enjoy it, to do those things that are on your mind. And you really need to get them out of your mind and onto paper. Because once you start seeing them on paper, then you can start to put the plan around them to make them a reality. Put them on paper. Do you have the financial means to do so? To do those things? If so, great. Then after you have those on paper, what are the products that you need to make those happen? What are the investments that you need to make those things happen? What are the maybe insurance products that you need to make those things happen? Like I said, I'm not saying that those products are wrong or right. I'm just saying you have to do everything in the proper order. So there you go. If you want to help make your transition into retirement, or if you're in retirement and you're feeling like things are a mess, you're feeling like things are overcomplicated, you're feeling like, gosh, this should be a lot easier than it really is feeling like right now, think about what I've talked about tonight. Are your accounts all over the place? Can you consolidate those? Are you trying to do it yourself and you're inherently a saver? And so you know right now that you're like, gosh, I wish I could take more money out, but you're not, just because of your own emotions. In that case, you need to get help. Or are you thinking, have you not even started in the right direction? Have you not put together the vision of where you want to go or what you want to do? And the best part about it is, guess what? That vision can always change. And that's one thing I always tell people is that, hey, just because this is where we started now, doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. To me, retirement is dynamic. It's constantly changing and evolving based on what you want to do and where you want to go and what you have and what's going on in the economy and what's going on in investments. So be prepared for change, because it will change, but put together that vision. It'll help make that transition a lot easier. I hope you found today's show to be of value and benefit. If so, don't forget, subscribe on your favorite podcast player. If you're on YouTube, subscribe there as well, because we're coming out with new videos each and every week to help you maximize your retirement story. Thanks. Have a great day.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Sierens Financial Management, Inc. Sierens Financial Group, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, AEWM, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Sierens Financial Management, Inc. are not subject to investment advisor requirements. AEWM and Sierens Financial Management, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as a sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences, including, but not limited to, a need for additional tax withholding or estimated tax payments, the loss of certain tax deductions and credits, and higher taxes on Social Security benefits and higher Medicare premiums. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. Sierens Financial Group, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed.